His voice, rough. His presence, mysterious. But then, the music drops, the bass line shakes the ground, and the audience feels something they've never felt before. This was not just Calypso anymore. This was Shadow.
I was planning to forget Calypso, to go and plant these in Tobago, but I am afraid I can't make the grade.
You're listening to Back
Every
Now.
night I lie down in my bed, I hearing a bassman in my head. I'm bam-bidim bam, bow, bam bam-bidim bam, bow, bam bam-bidim bam, bow, 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 bow.
Family, welcome back to the channel where we explore Caribbean icons through wisdom and transformation, always through a Caribbean lens. This isn't about conforming to the world, but about renewing our minds daily. So hit subscribe, drop a like, and join the discussion in the comments. Because today we're diving into the story of a man who wasn't supposed to make it, who was laughed at, doubted, even dismissed, yet became one of the greatest creative forces Calypso has ever seen. Winston Mighty Shadow Bailey. Winston McGarland Bailey was born in Belmont, Trinidad on October 4th, 1941. Belmont, at that time, was a cultural hub, filled with music, steel pan, stick fighting, and poetry. But Winston's story wasn't one of luxury. He grew up in poverty, and when his father passed away, he moved to Les Coteaux, Tobago, where he lived with his grandparents. And here's the thing, he wasn't a natural extrovert like many Calypsonians. Winston was shy, introspective, and deeply imaginative. While the other children played, he often found himself lost in thought, sketching ideas, or fiddling with rhythms in his head. By 16, he moved back to Port of Spain. But life didn't welcome him with open arms. He was homeless for a time, sleeping wherever he could while chasing his dream of becoming a Calypsonian. Imagine that, a skinny youth, penniless, trying to break into a world dominated by giants like Sparrow and Kitchener. That's like trying to play basketball right after Michael Jordan. Who even gonna notice you? His stage name has its own legend. One day, Winston walked by some road workers. One man was down in a trench, and the others were teasing him, calling out, "Shadow." Shadow. Winston paused. Something about the word resonated with him. Later he explained, "I felt like they was calling me." And from that day, he became Shadow. Not Mighty Shadow. That was later added by fans and promoters. He simply called himself Shadow. It fit him perfectly. Always in black. Always mysterious. A presence that seemed half in this world and half in another. In his early years, he even performed in wide-brimmed hats that partly covered his face, giving him an aura of mystique, almost supernatural. Now, let's be real. Winston Bailey was not the best singer. His voice was rough, deep, sometimes even awkward. But his uniqueness, that's what made him unforgettable. He flipped the Calypso formula upside down. While most Calypsonians focused on witty lyrics or smooth melodies, Shadow brought heavy bass lines, hypnotic rhythms, and quirky movements on stage. His dancing, offbeat. His delivery, strange. His style, completely his own. The result? People laughed at him until they couldn't anymore. Because the music worked. It was infectious. It grabbed you.
A young man asked for an opinion about a lady he wants to marry.
You're listening to Back Now as Media.
You're joking.
No,
You're stealing.
no,
You're dealing.
no.
You're looking for horn. Plenty horn, boy. You're looking for horn. You're going to get horn, boy. Why you want to marry? You don't have no money. You ain't working no way. You don't have a payday. You think it's good. You think that's work. You think it's good. I wish you luck.
Bailey, the man with the voice that could make walls weep, was also the man rumored to dabble in obeah. Now, don't get it twisted. This is what made him a bit of an outsider. In Trinidad, pagan practices aren't exactly dinner table conversation for most Afro-Trinis. But Shadow, he didn't care. He moved to his own beat, blending mystique with music. And here's the kicker. Some folks say Christianity is the European religion. But let's be real. The first Christian nation wasn't Rome, it was Ethiopia. So technically, being a little mystical isn't that far off from history. Shadow just turned it into an art form.
A little boy named Carter, accusing me real seriously. He say he feel that I just steal. I ask him why, he telling lie. He say you say
You're listening to Bacchanal, but
yet we love your nonsense. Phobia, phobia. You're looking like a boo, but everybody loves you. It's phobia, phobia, phobia man. Answer the question, yeah. Phobia man. Is it true or not you're dealing with Satan?
It was innovation in its purest form. Shadow proved that you don't need the sweetest voice to be a star. You need originality. Or as we'd say in Trini, he had his own ting. In 1970, Shadow joined Mighty Sparrow's Young Brigade Calypso tent as a chorus singer. By 1971, he started standing on his own. Slowly, the strange man in black began to win hearts. By the mid-1970s, Shadow exploded. Songs like Bassman, 1974, shook the culture. That song wasn't just a hit, it was a revolution. Heavy bass, spooky lyrics, a vibe no one had ever felt before. Shadow made the bass line the star of the show, and in doing so, he influenced Soca, Chutney Soca, even modern EDM decades later. Then came I Come Out to Play, Dingley, Pay the Devil, You're Looking for Horn, and so many more. His music was humorous, haunting, and philosophical all at once. Shadow could make you laugh, make you dance, and make you think, all in one song. But it wasn't always smooth sailing. Shadow was often seen as the outsider. His style didn't fit the polished world of Calypso royalty. Judges sometimes robbed him in competitions. Promoters sometimes sidelined him. And the public? They loved him. But they also mocked him for being different. Yet Shadow never bent, never conformed. He doubled down on his uniqueness. And that stubbornness? That's exactly what built his legacy. By the late 1990s, Shadow had become an undisputed legend. In 2001, he won the Road March with Stranger, proving he could still command the road decades after his debut. That same year, he also won the Calypso Monarch, the ultimate double crown. He received national honors, tributes, and the respect of peers and fans alike. Today, his music is studied for its originality, and many credit him as a pioneer of modern soca and bass-driven Caribbean music. On October 23, 2018, just days before receiving a national award, the mighty Shadow passed away at age 77. His death shook the Caribbean. Tributes poured in from every corner. Politicians, musicians, and fans who had danced, laughed, and reflected on life through his music. He left behind not just songs, but an entire philosophy of sound. Behind the dark persona was a man devoted to his family. Shadow was survived by 5 children, though only 2 are well known in public circles. McGarland Bailey, also known as Dread Wizard, followed his father's footsteps into music, producing carnival hits like Walk and Wiggle. Sean Bailey, also publicly recognized. The names of Shadow's other 3 children remain private, a reminder that while his music lived in the spotlight, parts of his personal life were fiercely guarded. This balance between privacy and performance only deepened the mystique of the mighty Shadow. Unlike many Calypsonians who courted controversy or splashed their personal lives in the papers, Shadow kept much of himself hidden like a true Shadow. Now let's talk dollars and cents, because every legend leaves behind not just memories, but a financial story. At the time of his passing in 2018, Shadow's net worth was estimated between $1 million and $5 million. For a Caribbean Calypsonian, that's no small feat. We're not talking Drake or Jay-Z money. This is Calypso, a niche market, where most artists barely make enough to live comfortably. So how did Shadow earn his bread? Performance fees, decades of carnival stages, fetes, and tours across the Caribbean, the UK, and North America. Royalties. His hits like Bassman, Poverty is Hell, and Dingale became timeless carnival anthems, still pulling radio play and event features today. Competition winnings, Road March, Calypso Monarch, and Soca Monarch titles came with prize money. Sometimes modest, sometimes hefty, but always adding up. State awards and cultural grants. With his national recognition, Shadow also benefited from government stipends and awards honoring cultural icons. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite that wealth, Shadow lived humbly. No flashy mansions, no golden chains, no endless luxury cars. He wasn't chasing bling, he was chasing baseline.
I'm a stranger, said a pretty girl. I came down here for the carnival, so music. I've been a trance, want to play my, teach me how to dance. Buy a little raga, put it in your pocket. Buy a little slack, that's the way they do it. Find yourself a band, find a good position. When the music blasts, you'll find out how to play, man.
Money for him was security, not spectacle. And yet, in a deeper sense, Shadow's true wealth wasn't measured in millions. It was measured in influence. Every soca producer who leans heavy on the bass owes him royalties, in spirit. Every Calypsonian who dares to be different is drawing from his account. So yes, the man left behind a modest fortune in cash, but a priceless empire in culture. So what do we make of Winston McGarland Bailey, the mighty Shadow? He was eccentric, yes. Private, yes. A little spooky at times, sure. But he was also a genius, a pioneer, and a voice for the voiceless. He dressed in black, but his music painted the Caribbean in colors no one had ever imagined before. And maybe that's the lesson. You don't need to shine like everyone else. Sometimes, the Shadow leaves the brightest legacy of all. Rest in peace to the mighty Shadow, the man who turned darkness into rhythm, poverty into poetry, and Calypso into a force the world could never ignore. Before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Drop a comment below. Which Shadow song lives rent-free in your head? And tell me, do you think today's soca stars could ever match the depth of Shadow's bass? Because as long as his music is played, the Bassman inside us will never die. Thanks for watching.